What is this? Pentagon, hexagon, octagon. His queen is gone. Okay, this is good. You guys are asking about the Garry video. Let me
Queen has come to E1, defending a knight on B4, trying to hold his position together. And then, well, who's got in that first game? And somehow,
dangerous. Knight takes B5 is possible, with ideas of if the bishop takes A1, knight takes D6 check. If knight takes B5, there's bishop takes B5, and both white rooks.
Pawn on E4 is attacked. I think Anand's all kind. Well, I just don't think he should have gone for this opening again. He obviously didn't have a clear improvement.
Hold on, there's something happening on the E file, isn't there? On the F file. All sorts of funny things are happening here.
Knight F5. Okay, Anand has given up a couple of pawns, just trying to get some play, but it looks desperate. Queen C6. There we go. We got the same mate thread again. Is it the same as in the first game? Queen E2, defending against the mate, but this is pretty ugly.
Oh, Queen E4, that's a powerful move. Hitting the rook, hitting the bishop. There can be all sorts of exchanges here. Just a
rook to F1, rook
to F1.
The blunder's coming. The blunder's coming very soon here. The blunder's going to happen.
Oh dear.
I think Anand has completely collapsed in this game.
I think he should have. Oh, rook F2 is a better square because at least G2 is defended.
Wait for it. It's coming. It's coming here. Just wait for it. It's going to come here in the next move.
That's right. I mean, just a series of exchanges, and you've got a very nice ending. There's no longer any problem.
Here you go. Here you go. Rook E1, and now here we go.
Two pawns up, technically winning position. He's just exchanging pieces now. It's all over.
Put your king on a square.
What's the Queen takes G4? What's he overlooked? This is incredible. The queen on G4 attacking the rook on C8. Now, Black's queen is attacked.
Yeah, so I'll go back. I'll go back one second. Let me go back to show you guys the board.
Two pawns up.
So I'll show you what happens. So in this position, you guys, white plays rook to E1 here. Basically, the point behind rook to E1 is to guard the bishop. And after rook to E1, if Garry plays knight takes, bishop, queen takes, they trade everything. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. White has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black has 2 extra pawns that he's winning. But after rook to E1, Garry did not realize that after queen takes bishop, white didn't have to trade the queens, and white could take the pawn on G4. So this is the position that I think it was. And is it Black's move? Yeah, it's Black's move. So this is a position, you guys, just to give you an example. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. White has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns. So white is currently down 2 pawns here. They both have 2 rooks. They both have a queen. They both have a knight and a bishop. So black has 2 extra pawns, and black is winning. So the point is, in this position, I'll just try to reset it. Let me set it up. So basically the point was that Anand here, if he moves the bishop, you just trade the queens, and black still has 2 extra pawns, and he should be winning in an endgame. So Anand goes rook E1, and the point is that in this position, Garry the wrong rook position. I think this is right. Let me see. Is this right? Let's see. Is this right? Let's see. Oh, the rook was on C1, not A1. Anyway, same difference, doesn't really matter. But the point is, he plays rook to E1 here, and in this position, Garry plays queen takes. He figures, okay, we trade down, and again, we're in an endgame. I just have 2 extra pawns. There's a knight and a bishop. We both have 2 rooks, but I have 2 extra pawns, so I win the game. And the thing is, in this position, if Garry plays knight takes bishop, white has to trade, and we're in the endgame. But because Garry takes with the wrong piece and the queen, white can go queen takes pawn, and the knight is guarding the rook, so you actually end up getting fossilized here because you can't take the rooks. The knight guards it. Sorry, you can't take the knight guards it. Obviously, if you take the other rook, I take. But at the same time, I'm attacking your queen, but my queen is hitting both your bishop and your rook. So the point is that in this position, if Garry had just taken with the knight, it's an easy win because Vishy has to take. But no, he ends up losing more than that because in this position, your queen's under attack, but your rook is also under attack. So here you would love to go queen here to guard the rook, but your knight actually would take the queen. So you don't just lose a pawn. You end up actually having to give your queen for one of the rooks here to try and hang on because otherwise you lose the rook in the corner. So basically, Garry freaked out because he knew if he took with the knight, it would just go right into an endgame where he has 2 extra pawns. And so that's why he completely flips out here and he loses his mind when he does this. So I'll play it one more time just so you guys understand.
Of exchanges, and you've got a very nice ending. There's no longer any problems. Just take it off.
Kasparov,
take
2
it off.
Pawns up, technically winning position. He's just exchanging pieces now. It's all over.
Put your king on a square like.
What's the queen takes g4?
And also, you guys, you hear them say they're like it's all over because he can just trade everything down and win the endgame with the 2 extra pawns. But because he took with the wrong piece, he misses queen takes g4.
What's he overlooked? It's all over.
Put your king on a square like.
Technically,
Problems. Just take it off.
Kasparov,
Take it
2
off.
pawns up. Technically, winning position. He's
Yeah.
just exchanging pieces now. It's all over.
Put your king on a square like.
What's the queen takes g4? What's he overlooked?
No, Garry lost the game. He lost this game. He lost the game. Vishy won. Vishy won the game. Vishy won this game.
This is incredible. The queen on g4 attacking the rook on c8. Now, Black's queen is attacked on e3.
White should have played. No,
1 second queen. The
Oh,
black
of course
queen moves
Garry
back,
remembers
queen
this game.
check,
Of course
king
Garry
up.
does.
Oh, he's castled, sacking his queen.
He should have played knight takes e3. No, and then he got the technical position. Queen takes e3 was just 2 laps.
Yeah, see how see like and
Well,
what you
that's
end up
what's
here
up.
is you end up in a position where Black had to give up the queen here. That was the whole point.
Big advantage on the
So
clock,
yeah.
Suddenly.
Can I show the rest of the match?
What
I don't need to show the
Knight
rest.
d6
But,
looks good. There we
but
go.
anyway,
If
White
you check
goes
king
on to win
h3,
this
the king
game.
is pretty safe on this square. You can't get a rook to the
And
edge.
now,
oh, did Garry said this was the worst blunder of his career? Did he actually say that? I wouldn't be shocked if he said this. This wasn't in his masterclass series. Well, no kidding. Of course it's not. It's not in his masterclass series. Oh, he did. He honestly said it was. Wow. Yeah, I mean it's pretty
f7
brutal.
is caving in and threatening rook takes f7. F5 all, but now his king is very exposed.
By the way, you guys, speaking again of the etiquette thing here, you can hear Garry in this game. He's starting to bang the clock here. Like he's clearly angry. You heard that last time. You heard the way the clock was hit. It was louder than usual. And so like this kind of thing, like it's very intense and very serious. So when people like get annoyed about like Ali Reza and that game, it's like, I mean, it's just people need to be
Kasparov wants to
more
play
understanding
rook
how like
f6,
insane
rook
and how
h6.
super
Yes, what can
hardcore
you
it
do?
is.
Has he finally found some way to confuse the issue? What to play? Queen to e7 or something? Queen to e6. At least there's some checks on the white
Okay,
side.
and now what about rook f6?
F4.
It's played f4. Kasparov fighting for his life here.
Kasparov is incredible resources again. It's
Knight
amazing.
f7. And now knight
G5.
g5
There's no
check.
idea. What can Black do? There must
And
be
then
something.
queen across. That's dangerous. Knight g5 check and queen g6 threatened. So Anand's now going on the attack.
That's right. And look at the times. 1 minute and a few seconds each. It's enough time to get something.
Minute and a half. Kasparov. A minute.
Rook
Kasparov
f7.
has given up, and he's given it up. And now rook at f6. He gave up his rook to get some play, but he wants to play rook h6 check.
Rook h6 check. Come on, what's going on?
This is extraordinary. Kasparov managing to keep chances alive just when you think the position's over.
It's murky, but what can you do with e4 followed by rook h6 with some sort of perpetual play?
F5.
That's cutting things down.
Good move.
d4. Get those d pawns going. Kasparov's managed to get
And
incredible
now
resources.
how is rook f4, queen e7? He just wants to play queen takes pawn on e4. And with a material advantage here, queen against bishop and knight. But Kasparov fighting for his life here.
How about d3, queen takes e4, d2, rook takes d2, rook check.
By the way, I see someone just says, please move to another board, thanks. Very funny, very funny.
Knight f1 check.
Please
and
move
knight
to another
takes
board.
Rook on d2. Well, this is maybe possible.
Kasparov glancing at the clock, he's under a minute. But Anand only has 47 seconds left.
47
Can
is
he actually win
55,
this?
54, incredible stuff. Rook h6 check. King goes to g3. Can you find a move then? You're a bit
Let's play
restricted.
rook h6, king g3.
Knight.
F1, knight d1, what's this? He's
Getting a
attacking the
rook.
rook.
Rook f4. Maybe if White's threatening rook g4, that would be end of the world. Rook g4 and wins.
Rook g4, that looks over, and he's resigned. Extraordinary. Let's just go back to that critical position in the
Yeah, like
fight.
you can
55,
see right here at the end the
54,
way he just gets
knight.
up, like
F1, knight d1, what's
End of the world. Rook g4 and wins.
rook g4, that looks over, and he's resigned.
just out of there, out of there, out of there in a hurry, out of there as fast as they could be. So when people are like, you know, they're like it's like people need to understand, like it's so serious, like it's so intense, like yeah, just like why didn't they hug? Yeah, why didn't they hug? Now that is funny. Why didn't they hug? Yeah. But that blunder, like, was just so
when
tragic.
Kasparov was considered to be invincible. He just went from tournament to tournament, leaving a trail of destruction behind him. Times have changed. The cracks are beginning to show, and his rivals can sense that the gap between them and the world champion is narrowing.
This was the big prize.
C'était vraiment le grand prix.
I'm absolutely delighted that I won it.
Yeah, no, that was a good that's a good video. And yeah, so when Vishy won that game, he won the whole event, which is why Kasparov was so upset too. So yeah, Kasparov was so powerful. That was the final match in a tournament. It was a Blitz Chess Championship final in 1996. It was Credit Suisse, I think, in Switzerland, or not Switzerland, in Switzerland. So yeah, that's what it was from. Was it before or after he lost to Deep Blue? Garry lost to Deep Blue in 1997. I was actually there at the final game. The Kasparov lost in 97 to Deep. I think it was 97 to Deep Blue. But this was before. This was 96. So yeah.